Hello, Roarin Rapids. My name is Rashawn McKenzie, and I am a fifth year from Lauderdale Lakes, Florida, majoring in information communication and technology. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am training to be an orientation leader at the Florida State University. I created these vlog series as part of an assignment for orientation training, but also because I'm not necessarily the best when it comes to writing, and I also am not the best speaker, so I'm hoping that this will help on my verbal skills, as well as just help me communicate with people better. And I thought this would be way more fun. So on these journey projects, we're basically learning about different things, resources that we do have on FSU's campus. And this week we had our journey project on self-care, health, and wellness, which is really exciting because self-care is something I personally at the beginning thought I was really good at, and I'll explain more why I guess I'm not as good at it. But let's bring us to our first segment, straight working on my fitness. Like the song, I be working on my fitness. So part of this one was to attend a class at the Leach Center, or the Fitness and Movement Clinic, or the FSU Reservation. I personally am not one for fitness and wellness. I don't focus on it a lot. And I know I should. It's something that is important. At FSU, we do have a lot of resources, such as the Leach Center, which is our most common workout facility. I think it's open for most of the day. Opens at 6 a.m., ends at whenever you want your gains to finish. I am not big for working out, but they do offer classes such as like step dance classes, which I really do like to step and dance. And that would be one of the way to motivate me to actually work out. But because of my involvement this semester and how busy I was with classes and everything, I wasn't able to go to any of those fun classes, or what I would call fun classes. So I decided to go to the FSU Reservation, or what us students normally call it, the Res. The Res is a 73-acre facility with 10 active acres located on the beautiful Lake Bradford. It being on the lake, students are able to canoe, kayak, swim, paddleboard, sail, all those things for free as long as you're an FSU student. And I've been there several times. I go there with friends. Sometimes I go there by myself if I just want to get away from everything. Just like rent one of those things that I just mentioned and just go off into the water. They have other things to do there, such as they have picnic areas. They have a 40-foot rock climbing wall. They have a lot of other things that are not coming to my head right now. A volleyball course, frisbee area. So it's really cool, and I want to say that I always forget about it, like how much fun it actually is. It's because it's not on campus. I forget that this is a great free resource that we do have, but I'll get more into that later. So when I was doing this part of the project, I didn't realize that this was part of the project. Me and a couple other future orientation leaders went there as like a fun lake day type thing, because like the closest beach to us is 2 hours away, and so this really does get your beach fix if you're really wanting to go to that Florida beaches that it's commonly known for. We ended up renting they ended up renting kayaks, and I decided to try something new, so I did a paddleboard, which was a lot more strenuous than I thought and took a lot of like arm muscles, which I wasn't sure if I had, but they had nothing else, and so it was really hard keeping up with them, but I eventually got it, and it was fun. I felt like Moana.
Did it. The cheat code is you got a knee.
Yes, Moana.
Hard to defeat you. Single Gatorade bottles just chilling. Long as I can remember.
Hey y'all.
Afterwards, then we took a dip in the river. It was freezing, so we ended up renting some inner tubes, which they also have. and kind of lazy rivering it. And then lastly, we just went and played frisbee before heading home. It really is a fun, free thing that all FSU students could do. Even if you don't have a car to drive here, they have safe buses that will take you there. And I'm probably going to miss this the most when I graduate later in the year. The best way to find engagement at the res is they have their res days, which is like once or twice a semester, and it's kind of like a big festival type of thing at the res. They have free food, entertainment, gaming opportunities included in all the other things that they have. And there's also a sailing clinic if you really want to learn how to do that sailing that I was talking about and sail on the res. You have to go through that training first, and again, free for students. Campus recreation here has a lot to offer the students if you go and look for it. They advertise very heavily too, so you could be walking down, you'll see something for campus rec. I very much suggest just stopping and like checking it out. Fitness and wellness is very important because it helps you like relieve stress. And as a student, you're gonna get stress whether it's academically, socially, or professionally. And my motto is to take care of yourself before you could take care of others. And I'm very into taking care of other people. So it's one of the things I do keep in mind. Your mind needs to be sharp, but also your body to like find the right kind of balance in life. And after all that extracurricular activity, that takes us to our next section. Take a second to breathe. This part, we had to meditate, which was interesting. My first thoughts when I saw that is, meditating's weird. I could be loud, I could be quiet, but I don't like the complete silence. It kind of bothers me. And so I was very nervous going into this. I went to the meditation room at the Center for Global and Multicultural Engagement, which we normally call the Globe. This is my first time ever there. It was on the 3rd floor. I went there with my friend Anne, who's also a future orientation leader with me, and we opened the door and there was someone doing a religious ceremony in there because it does show like northwest, east, south, and I didn't know that was something that happened, and I felt really bad for disturbing them, but waited a little outside to give them their space and let them do what they needed to do. And then we went in and we did yoga. So I'm in the meditation room right now. It smells lovely in here. I'm watching a YouTube video on yoga on here, and y'all are just gonna watch me watch that. But it's really nice in here. I've never been in here. It's really comfortable. The walls are painted green. It shows like the north, east, west, south signs on there. We turned off the light and turned on this to make it like more calming. And so yeah, I'm just gonna click and yoga. But after my thoughts were, so I looked up a YouTube video on how to do yoga because I kind of wanted to get into it because a lot of people do talk about it, and it was weird. The first 7 minutes of the video out of this 10-minute video was just about breathing, which after 5 minutes I was just like, come on lady, can we get on with this? And it was really weird. It smelled nice. It was very dark. It was very peaceful in the room, but it just kind of felt like TikTok, like, okay, what's happening next? And also, again, even though Anne was in there with me, it was just too quiet for my level of comfort. And then the last part was meditation, or the yoga, and it literally took like 10-20 seconds, and I was kind of just like, okay, I need this to be over. Meditation can be a great way for self-care. It personally just doesn't work for me just because I do the opposite of focus when I'm in such a situation. But I would recommend everyone at least try it to figure out if that's their thing. And with that, let's go into, we could do this together. So for this one, we had to define resilience and take what's called the Student Resilience Project, which the link is going to be in the bio or whatever this is called, the caption, the comment, I don't know. But resilience to me is using your strengths and skills to push through all the trauma and negative factors in your life and reach your goal. Resilience is not something that comes easy, but it's something that we do all possess, and it could be strengthened just like any muscle, anything that you work out. Resilience is something you work on. I know I've had positions where leadership positions on campus where things didn't always go the way I wanted to, things didn't go the way I planned, and I could be completely organized and things just not go the same way that I want it to. And I think being resilient is taking all of that and just pushing through and finding your end goal and getting there no matter what's happening. There are deeper things that happen with resilience, like some of the traumas they were talking about were like, if you have any family traumas, if you have any like relational traumas, and you're pushing through because you know that at the end of the day there's things that you have to do, and you as a person will be better at the end for it, or someone else will be better for the end of it. And at the beginning of it, which is something I like, that was really cool, was they said what FSU's values were, which was diversity, integrity, respect, collaboration, and innovation. And then they gave me the opportunity to select my values, and out of those options that they provided for me, I chose compassion, optimism, and growth. I think that when you're passionate about something, you can do almost anything, and you could push through and do anything. Optimism, people usually say I'm a very optimistic person. It's not really something I try to do. But like, there's so much nasty in the world that it brings me down to focus on things that aren't going right. So I try to focus on things that are, and then growth, which is something I love to see in like friends, family, myself. I know that you've gone through a journey, or that you've become the person you are by the way you've grown. And then they offered different resources to learn more about all this stuff. And if you're interested, link is also down there. This is all provided via the Center for Health Advocacy and Wellness, or other known as CHA. With that, we go into a very sensitive topic. And the title of this is These Hands Don't. So this one was about hazing, which is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, to say the very least. I personally have known someone who was affected by hazing and lost their life to it. It was a very sad thing. The question asks, can hazing impact your self-care, health, and wellness? And the answer is yes. It was a friend of a friend, but they're all very close friends. He actually grew up very close to where I grew up, and that's how a lot of my friends know the person, and it affected them in a way where they needed all the support they could get, and they stopped taking care of themselves. And so it took onto my responsibility to make sure that they were and help them. There's a lot of different things about hazing that I learned about going through this Test Your Knowledge, which again, I'll send in the link. But what constitutes as hazing and what doesn't. For example, one of the things that constituted as hazing was if something happened with a group of people from a same organization, and even though you weren't involved in it and you're in that organization and you're in charge, the whole organization could still get in trouble for it, which is, I thought it was an if you're not there, you're fine, but it's not. You work as a pack, and I guess when you are in those organizations, that's how it should be, and that's how they should see it. I'm personally not in one, so it's very interesting for me to see, and it feels like kind of like that's an obvious thing. But I mean, all these things could be used on any organization that we are in. I am a member of different organizations, which now I know what to look for when I do say, like, when we do talk about hazing. And I'm even wearing a community unconquered by hazing shirt that I got at FSU. And with that, we'll go into spiritual health. Let me take a breath after that one. So I am not the most religious person, but I don't discourage religion at all. I think it's very important to have something that you do believe in, whether it's religion, whether it's a person, whether it's your dog. I don't know. Having something you believe in to get you through the day, to keep hopeful, is very important to anyone. I respect anyone who's religious at all, or spiritual in any term. And so we had to research a campus ministry. So the Wesley Foundation is a United Methodist campus ministry. So if you're Christian, that's a place that you should most likely check out. They have a beautiful building, which is the reason I've been in there. For one of my organizations, we had meetings in there. Their goals seem to be really cool. They do go on mission trips to like Guatemala, which is like a yearly thing. I read that they have like a 10-year streak with that. They do really cool things, like they do weekly worship on Sundays. They do family dinners on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And if it's your first time going, you will get to eat for free. And it's been serving the FSU and TCC student community since 1926, so they've been here for a while. I remember when I came to school here, they had a completely different building. I think they recently got a new one, and I keep talking about their building. I think it's really nice. And also they have like a sign thing that they change every so often, which I think is always funny to read. But as a campus ministry, they are very open, and they are accepting of just about everyone. Their goals align with whatever the students' goals are, and I think that's really cool. Again, if you're into religion, I deeply respect you for that. It takes courage to put your faith in something. Now to what's in my fanny pack. This was a fun segment, and I'll take it over to Rashawn from a couple hours ago. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, and now it's time to play What's in Your Fanny? So what's in my fanny is going to be my 5 self-care toolkit. I love carrying around my Gucci fanny pack. They're not sponsoring this, but they can if they want to. So my 5 toolkit items for self-care is, the first one's gum. Anywhere you're going, gum is like just something you could chew. It relaxes me. Whether my breath is bad or not, I just kind of like to chew on it, and it kind of just calms me down. Minty.
Are you gonna talk with the gum in your mouth?
No, I should probably take the gum out of my mouth. That was my producer, Ann Lamb.
Stop.
Also an orientation leader candidate. Next thing in my self-care pack are headphones. So I think this is something that should be in everyone's self-care pack. Listening to music really calms everyone down, and also adding on to this is having like a really good playlist for any situation, whether it's you're going out, whether you want to like have like the best run of your life, whether you want to go to sleep, like having a nice pair of headsets so you're not bothering anyone, but like being any emotion you want is the best form of self-care because you don't want to rely on anyone else's time to make yourself happy. The third thing in my fanny pack is, oh, it's stuck. Give me a second. A water bottle. This is one of the things I kind of struggle with because I don't drink enough water. I was lucky enough to get an orientation leader bottle, which is really big and fills up a lot, and I try to drink as much of it as I can. As you can see, I kind of dented it, but one of my things is I need to drink more water because water is part of self-care. We need it to survive, and I need to stop substituting all these other fruity drinks that I drink for water. So that's it. And all right, so number 4 is a nice location for you to just do whatever you want. And this location could be anything that you feel comfortable at, whether you're the type of person that likes to go to parties, whether you're the type of person who likes to like just sit down and eat, or whether you're the type of person that like really wants to be by themselves and like go to like a special tree and read. I think a location where you feel comfortable is a great self-care kit. And then lastly, a friend to do all these things with. So I'm the type of person, I'm an extrovert, so I like taking in the energy of other people. And so I'm the type of person that likes being around people. As you can see, I'm doing this YouTube video with my friend Anne. Yes, Miss Lamb. Yes. And so those are my 5 self-care tips. Take them, don't customize them, tell me what you like about them, but these are what helped me get through the day.
Overall, I think that this has been a great journey project. I've learned so much about myself, so much about the different resources we do have on campus. I think I'll do a better job with self-care, which now that I remember, self-care, or as I used to see it as, is treating yourself, which that is absolutely not what self-care is. Self-care is doing things to better yourself. So seeing something in the mall that you don't need but you really like and buying it is not self-care. Eating ice cream because you want some, not self-care. But giving yourself a break from studying really hard, that's self-care. Drinking water, which sounds dumb, but I'm not someone that drinks a lot of water. That's a form of self-care because that's great for my body. Making sure that you are being healthy, being well, and just taking care of yourself is so important as a student, no matter what university you go to, and not even just as a student, as a person. And I hope you do all take care of yourselves. I'm going to try to take better care of myself. And for all you Roaring Rapids, I'll see you later.